Good morning. There we go. The third sequence of the 8th series of the Pacific series. So today we're going to start sitting at the bottom of the mat, sitting on the heels, but spreading the knees the width of the mat. Finding the position of the pelvis that allows for a really long spine where we feel that we can really root. If I'm here, I'm not rooting. What I feel is a lot of tension in my lower back or weight on my lower back. Yeah, it might be comfortable for some of you, but the rooting aspect is not happening. For this to happen, you need to roll the pelvis so the sacrum is actually falling straight to the ground, and where you feel this really interesting connection between the sitting bones and the heels, and you feel the weight of the body there, and then down to the ground. And here the spine is long, the energy flows nicely into Sushumna Nadi, the main energy channel. And then we do what we always do at the beginning of the session. We draw the senses inwards in what we call Pratyahara, observing the movement of the breath in the body, and aiming at nothing. We just want to stay present with it. Beautiful. Now fold forward. What you want is to send the hands as far as you can without lifting your butt. So you keep the butt really low, but you go with your hands as far as you can. Keep your hands flat. Spread the fingers. Roll the shoulders out, forehead on the ground or towards the ground. And then the breath. Feel it, opening spaces, moving the body. Inhale, lift the head, walk to the right and create the space you need. And then fold. And then inhale, lift the head, walk to the left. Create the space you need and fold. And back to center. And then go to all fours. Knees under your hips, shoulders right above the wrists, spreading the fingers, tuck the toes in, inhale, arch, and exhale, round, drop the head, arching, shoulders rolling back, and then rounding, the head dropping in between your arms, move with your breath, inhale, arch, exhale, round. Mindful breath, mindful movement. Good. Now both hands a little bit farther up on your mat and then hips up. Bend one leg and stretch the other a few times. Good. Now stop the movement of the legs, lengthen the spine, keep a little bit of a bend in your knees if you need it, but only if you need it to lengthen the spine. Otherwise, those of you who already have a really long spine, straight the legs, heels towards the ground, and the breath that moves up and down the spine in Sushumna Nadi, back and forth. Beautiful. Then, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, foot in between your hands. The back knee goes down. Roll the shoulders back to create space for your neck. And we are not here. And then let the pelvis be heavy. Let the pelvis be heavy. So it falls towards the ground. Remember that this is a posture where we work with resistance. Yeah? What we want is to make sure that there is no resistance. Because it is really normal here, because the posture feels intense, it's quite normal to try and keep the pelvis higher up. So we are resisting the pull of gravity. But what the practice invites us to do is to surrender to the pull of gravity, surrendering to the posture, feeling the intensity, and allowing for this intensity to move through the body. When we fight the intensity, what we create is tension. We are not accepting what is going on. We fight it and then there is tension as a result. But if we accept the intensity, which at the end is just energy, the energy will spread throughout the body, it will start moving, and then the highly uncomfortable sensation, it will probably dissipate or get milder. And never go to this posture thinking that you already know how it is, what is the experience, because there might be some deeper layers of resistance that you were not aware of before. And you can only find them, feel them, acknowledge them, realize about them, if you remain present, open, curious. Tag the toes of the back foot in, and then move backwards. Stretch the front leg. Now bring the toes up, foot up, and fall. Beautiful. Front foot to the back for Adho Mukha. Push with your hands. Lengthen the spine. Roll the shoulders up. Now left leg up. And then foot in between your hands, back knee down, the pelvis drops, roll the shoulders, create space for your neck, and let's go. No resistance, which means that the pelvis falls down to the ground. I find it easier to observe the sensations inside my body, the subtler sensations when I close my eyes. The moment I close my eyes, it's like I'm drawing the senses inward, so I'm more aware of gather information from. Because finally the body becomes or is our primary field of knowledge. We experience life and we gain knowledge through the body. So it seems like refining the awareness of our body, being able to feel subtler and subtler things within, it seems like something wise to do. Okay, maybe you come across another resistance that you couldn't feel before, which gives you the opportunity to soften and let go. Good. Take those of the back foot in and then move backwards, stretching the front leg. Now lifting the foot so you can stretch more and fall. And then Adho Mukha. Push with your hands, lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders out, a couple breaths through Sushumna Nadi, back and forth. And then sit on your knees, and then your heels, body up. We're going to do moon salutations, this longer version of the sun salutations. Let's go. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward, tuck the toes in, forehead down, lengthen the spine. Move without breathing, and then inhale, cobra, push the pubic bone, open the heart. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, right in between your hands, the pelvis drops. Exhale, left in between your hands. Inhale, sit, lengthen and up. And then exhale, fold. Right leg far, inhale. Exhale for Adho Mukha. Inhale for Urdhva Mukha, bending the elbows if you need to. Now, knees, chest, chin. Exhale backwards, forearms, stretch your arms. Inhale up. And namaste. In, up. X, fold. Tuck the toes in, lengthen. Hold the breath while moving forward and then baby cobra. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, left to the front. Exhale, right to the front. Inhale, sit, lengthen and up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, left. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Hold, knees, chest, chin. Exhale, back. Inhale up. And namaste. Hands in front of your heart. Sitting on your sitting bones, on your heels. Beautiful. Open your eyes. And let's go back to Adho Mukha. Left foot in between your hands. Okay, here. Drop the pelvis as much as you can. Drop the pelvis as much as you can. Keeping the back leg straight and pulling the foot back. And then arms at the level of the head, spine, as far to the front as possible. We're going to do a dynamic movement here. The arms go towards the heart. Bending the legs and the pelvis really low, and then the arms open towards the back. Open them, turn, and now far, far to the front. Pelvis low, heel pulling back. Let's do it again. Back. Pelvis low, heel pulling back. When you move, you want to do it with a really low pelvis. You're not up here. As low as you can. Some of you will bring it even lower, yeah, because you have more flexible hips. Now stretch the front leg, feet parallel, hands on your hips or waist, always rolling the pelvis and engaging the pelvic floor. And now we're going to do this smile movement that we have been practicing lately with the pelvis. Next time the pelvis goes towards the left, keep the feet exactly as they are, keep the pelvis to the left, and start bending the left leg, sending the butt as low as you can. Find your maximum, and then when you get to the maximum, give yourself a couple seconds here, and then start opening the right foot up, so the pelvis can get closer to the ground. Okay, now change sides. When changing sides, you can walk with your hands on the ground in order to keep the pelvis really, really low. Again, we don't want to stretch the legs. We want to work on the hips. And then, let's do the other side. The pelvis as low as you can, keeping the foot on the ground, and then opening the left foot so you can sit more. And now change sides. So when you go to your maximum, with the foot on the ground, you give yourself a couple seconds. Better do it without the hands. And then open the foot and sit even more. And then change sides. Keep the foot on the ground, left foot on the ground. Let the pelvis drop. When you cannot go any farther, give yourself a couple seconds. Hands off the ground if possible. And then opening the foot so you can sit more. Okay, once more. To the left. And to the right. Good, and from here I'm simply gonna sit. Reposition the pelvis at the center of the mat so I can spread my legs. Try to keep the heels inside of the mat, on the mat, because otherwise it can be quite uncomfortable for the heels. And spread the legs as much as you can. Now feel the discomfort in your groins, in your inner thighs. For 99% of the population, this is really uncomfortable, which is okay. Yeah? Good. Now, what we want is a really long spine here, so some of you will need to work on a riser. It could be a block, it could be a folded blanket. And then those of you who are using a riser will have the hands at the back, yeah? So you help with the hands, the lengthening of the spine up towards the sky, which will allow for the pelvis to roll forward, and then you will stop being like this, crunching, which is not interesting. We don't want that. That's why you bring the pelvis up, so the pelvis can roll while you create space in your spine. Those of you who are with a long spine, without the help of a riser of your hands, then you will bring the hands in front, and again, the same, roll the pelvis, the pubic bone towards the ground just a little bit, but find this upward movement. And then stay here, close your eyes, breathing whatever the body needs it. Bring your focus, your awareness, the presence. Those are not postures to be ambitious, those are postures to be careful. Yeah? Beautiful. Let's start moving here. So, right arm in, left arm over your head. And then change sides. Reaching over the ear. Good. Let's change the movement. So what we will do here is go as far as you can towards your foot and then transition towards the other side. The left hand goes at the back. You're on the left side. Left hand goes at the back. The right arm goes towards the left foot, and then you push with the left hand against the ground so you can lift your pelvis and roll the right foot towards the ground. Open the chest. And then go back. Right hand towards the foot, left foot, and then change arms. The left arm goes to the front, right hand at the back. Pelvis up, left foot to the ground, and then again. Smooth movement, slow enough so you can feel the sensations in your body. Some of you are so flexible that you can do it faster, but most of us need to move slowly in order to make sure that we are not going too far in our movements, therefore hurting the body. Last one. Beautiful. I've moved. Good. Now it's a good time to see if the legs spread a little bit wider. Let's say when you find yourself into the maximum, you go just a millimeter backwards, yeah? It's still really intense, but here you're making sure you're not putting your body in too much stress, which is not interesting. And then again, some of you will still feel like your spine is rounding. You will still be working on sitting on your razors. And then you will just put the hands at the back and create this upward movement again. Some of you will be with a straight spine here, so you can just bring the hands in between your legs and then start walking yourself down, forward movement, bending. But today we are not going to allow the spine to round. So we're going to work with a really, really long spine, rolling from the hips, from the pelvis, pubic bone towards the ground, finding our maximum. So whenever you feel that the spine starts rounding to go down, there you stop. And you just work with a long spine, shoulders back, and you stay here breathing with presence. sure that you are not goal-oriented. Because then it's when you stop, when you start pushing the body. Detachment of the results is a really important part of the practice. We call it vairagya. Good. And then pick up your legs with the help of your hands. Move slowly. Turn towards the top of your mat. And then arms in between your legs, roll down towards the ground, feet close to your back. Feel the new sensation in your hips, in your legs. And then the arms alongside the body, and we're going to do a dynamic Setu Bandhasana. We'll start by rolling the pelvis, lengthening the lower back, engaging the pelvic floor, up, and then down. Inhale up. Send the weight towards the shoulders, the chest opens, and then exhale, rounding the spine all the way down. Inhale, arch. And then exhale, round down. Once more, inhale up. Good, now stay here. Tuck the shoulders underneath. Interlace the fingers. Pull the hands towards your feet. Send the weight more towards the shoulders so the heart opens more. Feel the breath in your rib cage. Wide deep breath in the rib cage. Good. Now the left foot walks a little bit towards the right foot, just a little bit, and then right leg up, right leg up. Keep on opening the heart. Good. The foot goes down, open the heart. And then it's the right foot that goes more towards the center, left leg up. Good, foot down, and then open the heart more. And then bring the arms outside of the body so you can roll the spine slowly down. There, knees to the chest, and wobble a little bit from left to right. And you're now ready for shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. Let's do it. Arms alongside the body with the palms down to the ground. And then keep with your legs, pelvis up, elbows closer together. Walking your hands up your back to send the feet higher up. When sending the feet higher up, we are allowing for the pelvis to be more in line with the shoulders, which is how we want to move. Sole of the feet together, opening the knees out, and the feet, the heels moving towards your pubic bone. We are not sending the knees down. We are keeping the knees up, as high up as we can. Hips are open. Now bring the knees together. Stretch the left leg up, and then the right knee towards the forehead, and then stretching this right leg down towards the ground. Bend the leg, right leg, bend the left leg. Knees find each other. And now stretch the right leg up. Left knee towards the forehead. Stretch the left leg towards the ground. Ardha Havasana. Knees find each other again, and then slowly rolling down towards the ground. Knees to the heart, opening the arms, rolling a little bit from left to right. Good, and then stretch the right leg down, stretch the right leg down. The right hand grabs the left foot. And then the whole body turns towards the right, but you want to keep the left shoulder on the ground, left shoulder on the ground. Now when the body is towards the right, turn the head to the left, towards the left hand, looking at the left hand. And then slowly you can see if today it's a good day for you to stretch the right leg, but not up towards the sky, but towards the ground. But you keep the left hand holding the right hand holding the left foot. Never let go. And as always, we are not goal-oriented in the practice. That is a misunderstanding of the practice. When we are goal-oriented, we are moved from ego, which is not what should lead the practice. Remember the concept of vairagya, detachment from the results, which requires santosha, acceptance, satya, truthfulness, honesty, brahmacharya, finding this perfect balance between the effort you put and understanding that the practice should be as effortless as possible. So there has to be some kind of contention. This is called brahmacharya. And then obviously there is ahimsa. Without violence. Beautiful. Bending the leg. You will undo. And then pick up the right leg in. And then stretch the left leg down. The left hand grabs the right foot. The whole body turns towards the left with the right shoulder on the ground. And then turn the head towards the right. And see if today it's a good day for you to start stretching this leg. Or that's already intense enough. Yeah. So when we talk about violence, we talk about these. posture is already really intense, why should you push your body more? What is the need? There's already something going on. There's already a nice opening happening. So can you stay in a place of the practice that you are stepping out of the comfort zone, so there is something new happening, but where there is no violence, where you are not violating the truth of the body today, where you are content, accepting the limitations that the body feels today. Then practicing with detachment of the results. Santosha, Ahimsa, Satya, Vairagya, which require this kind of contention, finding the right balance between the effort and the softness, the ease, the effortless practice, brahmacharya. Now bending the knee, going back to your mat with the whole back, picking up the left leg again, picking up the left leg again, and then sole of the feet together, spreading the knees to the sides and wobbling the pelvis left and right. It's not a movement of the hips. It is just a rocking of the pelvis. And whenever you feel ready, you will simply slide your feet down into Shavasana, final relaxation. Remain connected with the sensations within. The energetic level of the practice. It sends you into another state of mind, of consciousness, where you can feel the pulsation of the universe in your body, where you feel connected, where you feel that you belong. Stay. Enjoy. No passa res, només vull tornar a casa i fondre'm en l'univers i que m'absorbeixi una gran bola de llum, una gran bola Namaste. Muchas gracias. Thanks for your practice, for being here and sharing this series with me. Namaste.